One of the largest predators to have lived on this planet was that of the Megalodon. This creature could easily grow to be over 60 feet long, and had a bite more powerful than Tyrannosaurus Rex. Strangely enough, although sharing a timeline that would have placed this creature on Earth around the same time as our prehistoric ancestors, suddenly and quite rapidly the Megalodon went extinct. Although the question as to what caused the extinction of the species has remained a mystery for decades, with other species of sharks from around that time still existing to this day, new research appears to have an explanation as to this strange mystery. Fishermen are perhaps some of the best people to talk to about ocean life. After all, they're the ones that spend the most time on the water. Why is it then that we hear stories about oversized sharks matching the description of the Megalodon? It's these stories that has caused some to speculate that perhaps these giant sharks are still roaming our oceans. Various photographs have been presented which allegedly show these giant sharks, and one that's often shared in cryptid groups is this one. It allegedly shows 2 Megalodon sharks off the coast of Australia. It's usually followed with a brief description that states a fisherman was using Google Earth and stumbled across these 2 giant sharks. Those who believe that the creature still exists usually get excited when these types of images appear online, leaving them to think that the king of the ocean may still be alive. However, after further investigation is carried out, there's usually a more logical explanation. This image is genuine, but it turns out that it's actually 2 whales that were captured via Google Earth. Another large shark that people can still allegedly see today has become known as the black demon shark. This shark is said to live off the coast of Mexico, and every so often the locals, tourist divers and fishermen get a glimpse of this giant, causing some to theorize that perhaps the Megalodon has somehow managed to survive. Many of these reports and sightings have been made by a number of fishermen across the Mexican coast, and they have claimed to have seen a massive black shark roughly 60 feet in length, and resembling the build of a great white shark, but with that of a dark coloration across its body and a massively sized tail. Given the fact that many of these reports fit the modern day recreations using Megalodon skeletons, as well as their average sized tail, it's led many to believe that it could be a possible hunting ground for the creature. Additionally, many of the fishermen that have reported this sighting have often been veterans in the field, never having once claimed such sightings in the past, and having more than enough experience with different species of whales throughout the region. One fisherman described fishing in the area and hooking onto a large fish. However, when he brought the fish in, it had been chewed in half. This wasn't unusual because great whites can be found in the area. However, when he looked at the bite marks, they was around 3 times larger than that of a great white. To this day, no one has been able to identify what the black demon shark is. So what's the reason that scientists give as to why the Megalodon went extinct? Though many would remark that the size of the Megalodon made it an incredible predator that helped to allow the creature to dominate the oceans during its reign, the truth is that the creature's large stature actually proved to be more of a hindrance in nature than an actual benefit. In order to support its massive body weight and muscle growth, the body of the Megalodon had a tremendous metabolism that only caused the creature to require massive amounts of food and resources constantly available in its environment in order not to starve. This calorie requirement would have forced the Megalodon to eat more than 2,500 pounds of meat a day just to survive, making it next to impossible to not starve if the creature found itself in an area void of a large abundance of natural prey. Given the fact that the diet of this massive shark was made up mostly of turtles and seals, the Megalodon would have been forced to be in a constant state of hunting just to meet its daily calorie requirements, even going as far as possibly eating its own young in times of stress, and engaging in risky behaviours just to locate a possible food source that would most likely deplete in a short matter of time. Given the fact that the Megalodon often travelled over vast distances, this led to high probabilities of winding up in areas that did not contain an adequate food source, and ultimately left the entire species incredibly vulnerable. These problems are only made worse when one takes into consideration how an environment can be easily changed by seasons, which would mean that the Megalodon would be forced to travel greater distances, will be highly susceptible to starvation if any dramatic changes in climate happened. Given the creature's massive size and its constant need for an adequate amount of calories just to live, this led to the creature to ultimately become a species that suffered from a high rate of competition with both neighbouring species and its own kind. Though many times in the animal kingdom, having a larger physique allows certain evolutionary advantages when it comes to the realm of competition, other times it can lead to a much higher resource scarcity for the species in question. The Megalodon, due to its large size, was capable of eating a wider range of foods. That included schools of fish, turtles, seals, and every now and then a lone whale. Due to its food supply being made up of many different marine animals, the Megalodon was always competing with those animals' natural predators for food. This meant that their finely tuned ecosystem could only support a lower population density of the Megalodon, due to its constant competition with members of its own species. This translates into not only the Megalodon being a mostly solitary marine animal, but a tremendously high risk in not finding a mate given their incredibly low population numbers. In conclusion, mainstream scientists completely debunk any claim involving a Megalodon shark, saying that our current climate cannot support a shark the size of a Megalodon. There's simply not enough food, and that if they were real there would be more than just a few scattered sightings. Some theorists though have suggested that these giants now live in deeper waters, and only come out when they need to. Something to bear in mind though is that 95% of the ocean is still unexplored, so theorists say that until someone has explored every part of the ocean, we can't say they don't exist. So far scientists have discovered over 242,500 marine species. However, it's estimated that every year over 2,000 new oceanic species are discovered. While people still report encountering giant sharks, stories of Megalodon being alive will persist well into the future. So my question to you guys is, what do you make of these cases? And do you think the Megalodon shark is still roaming our oceans? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.